without a shadow of a doubt that you're created on purpose for a purpose. Mindset and money revolution. You have to have a mindset revolution to experience a money revolution. That's when you experience a true wealth revolution.
My name is Chad Free. Welcome to the Wealth Revolution Podcast.
Welcome back to the Wealth Revolution Podcast. My name is Chad Free, and I believe that true wealth is an abundance of everything that you value. And today I'm going to talk to you about how we took a young lady, that's what I'm going to say, from doubting her financial future to doubling her financial future. This lady was 70 years old. She came to me. She heard me speak one time. And we got to talking about just all of her options. And she said there was something inside of her that just didn't feel like she knew all of her options. She knew that there was other things out there. And we just really connected. And so she began to tell me about her story. And the year before she became my client, she had lost $400,000 in her retirement account. $400,000. And so she was at the point where she was really, really scared to take $30,000 to $40,000 out per year as her paycheck. Now you can look at some of the prior podcasts that we did, and we talk about that distribution. You know, we worked so hard our entire life accumulating assets to get to the top of the mountain, but then we have to come back down the mountain. And so she really, really, really was, her emotions were really tied to not losing money. And so she almost was having to live a scarcity type lifestyle, if you will, because she didn't want to run out of money. And just a reminder, people say, according to surveys, that there are more people that are afraid of running out of money than they are dying. And so anyway, she was taking $30,000 to $40,000 out a year to live off of. And she started telling me about her passion and her purpose and her mission. She actually wrote a book, and see, her heart was to put the book out there and do seminars and boot camps and just, make a difference in other people's life. So we began looking at her finances, and after some intensive research and listening to what she wants in her life, not what I felt she should have, we put together a plan for her. And this plan, I like to talk about this so people can understand up front. It was an annuity. And I want you to understand what annuities are, because I think this is where a lot of people get it wrong. See, annuities have always been a pension-like product, right? And what do we know about pensions? What do we know about annuities? Or what have we heard about annuities? I want you to listen. Annuitizing an annuity is something that you're hearing and you're getting negative feedback on. So let me unpack that for you real quick. Number one, it's an insurance-based product, and it provides guaranteed lifetime income through a couple of different routes. Let's talk about annuitizing first. See, I've never annuitized an annuity for any of my clients. And this is what you know, and most people know about annuities. So let's say that you saved $1 million and you actually decided to annuitize an annuity. Let's say that gave you $50,000 per year in income. Well, once you start that, you have $50,000 the first year on that paycheck. And let's say you do that for 4 years, and unfortunately, you pass away. When you annuitize an annuity, that means that you've taken $50,000 out a year for 4 years. So you have taken $200,000 total, right? If you pass away, the insurance company actually keeps the balance of that money. That's annuitizing an annuity. That is not what we do here. We design these annuities to where it's your money and you're spending through the money. So if you die prematurely, your heirs will get the balance of it. But I want to show you how powerful this is, because what we did is we took her from doubting to literally a doubled retirement income. See, she went from $30,000 to $40,000, and now she gets $81,000 a year. And that is in the worst case scenario. She doesn't even have to look at the market anymore. So if the market went down every single year, she's going to get $80,000 a year. I like to tell people, listen, I want you to know where the bottom of the swimming pool is. I want you to touch the bottom of the swimming pool with your foot, right? And you know where that bottom is. And listen, you're okay with that. In that case, we doubled her income. Now, there's ways that we can actually set these up to where there's no fees. And because we can do this, when you hear bad stuff and negative stuff, guess who it's coming from? Most of the time, it's coming from those where the assets are being pulled off of a platform in which they can earn reoccurring management fees. So in this case, if $1,000,000 came off, then that's $10,000 a year out of somebody's pocket of income that they're making off of this lady. Now, I want to tell you exactly how this went down. Once we decided that this was a good fit, now we've doubled your income, so now you have margin in your life. Now you can focus on your purpose. Now you can focus on your mission. And she's not worried about money. She can go out and talk about her book and why it's special and how God brought her to the point to write this book and tell her story. She's not worried about money anymore. Matter of fact, that double income is actually a resource that is helping her to put her message out there even grander than she imagined. But what happened when she reached out to her existing advisor and financial firm, which I may add, it's a giant. It's one of the largest ones here in the United States. Number one, they said, no, 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 don't do that. Don't do that. Do not do that. And they actually thought that she might not know everything about annuities. So they went the route that I told you about, annuitizing an annuity. Do you really want to give that up? What if you don't live but 5 years? Then what? You lose all your money. No, see, she had already been educated. I'd already showed her exactly how this works and why she don't know about it and why she doesn't hear about it. Then they went on to say, well, listen, I hate for you to get out of the market so early because you're so young. She's 70 years old. She said, they said, you have so much time, and the market is really, really, really going to do some great things over the next several years, just as you experienced last year. Now, did you hear what I said? You remember last year she lost $400,000. So they were not even intentional, and they didn't even know or wasn't aware of her situation. They didn't know that they were telling a 70-year-old that she's way too young to not take advantage of a huge upswing that the market was going to come back around, and reminded her of the big win that she got last year, which was indeed the opposite. It was a loss of $400,000 of her life savings. So as she began to dialogue with these folks, and they said, no, annuities are bad. We would never do annuities. And, we don't do annuities and this, that, and other, the whole gamut. Finally, when they realized that her mind was made up, that this was indeed the best thing for her, then they invited her to talk to their annuity specialist. Now, how funny, how comical is that? So no annuities here, right? No annuities here. But since you're definitely going with annuity, we've got somebody down the hall that can help you with that. You see, that's the industry, and that's the days that we're in. We have to be intentional, and we have to make sure that we are taking full responsibility and being proactive to know all of our options. And so let's go back to what I said. We can structure these annuities to where there's no fees that are involved. And I'm going to actually read the case to you. I'm going to go over some numbers that's really going to baffle you. And I think it'll open your eyes a great deal if you just listen to understand instead of finding a way to respond prematurely. So let's talk about this. So if she, I like to say that the value is in the comparison. If we're not comparing it to anything, we don't know if we're getting a good deal or a bad deal. So let's take a traditional, typical portfolio and we're going to compare these two. Okay. So let's say that 50% of the money is in something fixed to where we're earning 3.5% every year. And the other 50% is tied to equities and stocks. All right. And let's say that we're going to use 7% as a return. So the total average there is going to be 5.25%. You're getting 3.5 over here in the fixed bucket, and you're getting 7% every year in the equity side. Now, let's mind you, 7% is hard to get every single year, right? You might have 12%, you might have 11%, but you might have negative 10% as well. In this case, we're going to build this portfolio to compare it to. All right. So we've got the portfolio 50-50. That sounds good. 5.25% going into retirement. Remember, she was scared to take out $30,000 to $40,000 a year. All right. And we're able to put her in something that's going to give her $81,000 a year times two. How many of you would like to double your retirement income just by moving things around? How many of you have a loved one that you see them struggling as well? You see them pinching pennies and trying to make their money last, and they're always worried about, is the market going to go down? Is it going to go up? Whatever. This message is for them as well. So if we're able to get them $81,000 a year, no matter what happens, that's the bottom of the swimming pool, remember? That same portfolio and that $81,000, I've got that going to age 99. All right. So in that same situation, the same amount of money, we're using 1.2 million. All right. She would have to take out $66,000 a year for that to last to age 99 from a traditional portfolio. Mind you, listen, she would have to take out $15,000 less, and that portfolio has to hit 7% over in the stock market side. I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. It has to do that every year. You can't have losses. You've got to get the 7%, and you've got to have that 3.5%. So the average is 5.25%. And you're still $15,000 less. You're $15,000 less. And the 81,000, you're not worried about the market whatsoever. The market can go down for the rest of your life, and we're not worried about that. And it's not annuitizing an annuity. So if you did guess what? That $81,000 has to go all the way through that $1.2 million. And guess what else? You're not getting any fees tied into that. Now, certainly there are some annuities that we can build out to where it has different benefits, and some of those come with fees, but most of the ones that I do does not come with any fees. It's up to you to see if you want to, turn the risk up a little bit. So understand what I'm saying. Let's talk about this one more time. 66,000 and you're worried about the market hitting those benchmarks, or 81,000 and I'm cruising and I'm just doing my thing. I'm pursuing my calling and I'm on my mission and I'm not worried about money. Which one is better? You see, if they took $81,000 out in in the traditional portfolio, they're out of money at age 90. So they're out of money at age 90 if they took that amount out. But you say, hey, how can I make it last? Well, that's $66,000 they would have to take out. Hopefully, I'm painting that picture really good. But there's a third option. Well, Chad, what would that portfolio have to do to be able to provide $81,000 a year and last me to age 99 where I wouldn't run out of money? I'm glad you asked. 10.68%. You would have to earn 10.68% every single year on the side of the equities to be able to match the worst case scenario. This is huge, guys. It's time to wake up. It's time to understand, where's all the hate coming from? Is the hate and the slamming legit, or have you seen the math? Have you looked at the products? Have you looked at the strategy? Most of the time, again, we're addicted to hopium. We hope it all works out. In this situation, guess what? They understand what's going to happen, worst case scenario. And I've never known the market to go down every single solitary year. So there's only upside from there. Now, if you want to look at that for yourself, or if you know somebody that could really use this kind of information, because I believe it's valuable. I don't believe that we should work all our life and then allow money to dictate what we do, when we do it, and who we do it with. We need to enjoy that money and do what we want to do and be present doing it. Go visit the grandkids. Go visit the kids. That's what it's all about here. That's when you truly are building wealth from the inside out, because you're present and there's peace, and you don't have that burden that's on you as it's surrounded by money. So know all your options, guys. Understand all your options. And know that there's probably some things that people are keeping from you, but I'm all about disrupting the status quo. Let's pull that curtain back and let's see if this is a fit for you. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Be sure to reach out to us if we can help you. God bless you.